Hello and welcome to Diecast Rescue. This is my first video where I attempt to restore a very battered Ford 4-door by Dinky, which I believe dates from the early 50s. The car is very beat up, and it's missing its tyres, and it's very chipped. And it even has distortion in its side where it's been hitting the side, which you'll see shortly. This is my first attempt at restoring a Dinky car, and I'm going to try and video it at the same time. So basically I'm going to be learning how to video and restore all in one go. So if you have any comments you'd like to make about what I'm doing wrong or right, by all means please let me know. Now, this car's only got 2 tyres and they are both absolutely rock solid, and the one has gone flat, admittedly only on the bottom. So as you can see, the car's held together with 3 rivets, and it hasn't got an interior or any glass. So basically it's basically just a 2-part car, so it should be a nice straightforward car to restore. I'm not sure exactly how old this car is, but I think they stopped making them in 1954, but if someone knows better, please comment below. So what I'm going to do first off is take the car apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a 1.5mm drill bit and these self-tapping screws to drill out the rivets, and then the screws obviously are to hold the car back together again afterwards. Now some people are tapping their screw holes, but I'm just going to try using self-tappers. This may be a mistake, or it may work great. Let's find out. So first off, I'm just going to drill out the rivets. So I'm just drilling a pilot hole to start with. Now I'm going to use a slightly larger drill bit to just shave the top of the rivet head off, which will then enable me to remove the base plate. Now this is the first time I've tried actually using video on my camera, and I found it's actually not very good at doing it, so another video camera is going to be sought for the next video. And also the lighting I'm using is not very good, so I do apologise about that. Hopefully I'll have that improved for next time as well. And again, if you have any suggestions for lighting and for cameras, by all means let me know. Thank you. I've speeded this bit up because basically I was being very cautious about drilling the heads off the rivets. I didn't want to make huge holes in the base plate. So otherwise it would have been about 10 minutes of me faffing about. And of course my getting so carried away with it, I was forgetting to keep it in shot, so you can't always see what I'm doing. I am apologising about that. Yes, that axle's going to have to be straightened out because it's a bit wonky, isn't it? Now the base plate's a bit dirty, but otherwise it's alright, so we can just give it a wash, it should be fine. The tyres are 50 or 60 years old and they are completely knackered. And it is written in the roof of the car. I believe on some models that was done differently, so apparently you can date the casting from that. The paint job appears to be a blue with the cream or pink painted over the top of it in the factory with no primer, which is why the wheels always look darker than the body shells. Now I'm just going to drill the hole deeper for the screw, and I've used a bit of tape to mark how deep I need to drill. You can see I've already partly drilled these already. So just letting you see that when the camera will try and focus on it, what sort of depth I'm trying to drill to. Now the tyres are absolutely rock solid, as in almost exploding hardness if you try to bend them too much. So the other tyre was just flat, actually just literally exploded when it was attempted to remove it. As you can see, the car has been pushed in at the B pillar at some point, and that'll have to be pushed out again. I'm just going to test that the screws actually go down into the posts correctly. Off camera I've already filed down the ends of the posts to remove any sharp edges. Now I'm just making sure that the holes are deep enough for the screws, so the screws go all the way to the end into the holes without hitting the bottom. Because obviously if they're then forced, they could actually cause the post to split. Now off camera I'd actually straightened the front axle with some pliers, so I've spared you that. And they now roll fairly smoothly. Now I have already straightened out the side of the car, again off camera, because I couldn't figure out a way of showing me doing it and not get in the way of the camera itself whilst I was recording it. So anyway, what I did was I just used a very large screwdriver and pressed down on the car whilst it was on a hard flat surface, and that's taken the dents out of the B pillar away, so that's worked quite well. Now I've washed the base of the car in some soapy water just to clean it up, and that's all it needed really. Now I'm going to pour paint stripper over the body of the car and the base plate just to remove any paint that might still be attached to it. And I'm also going to use the paint stripper to clean the ends of the hubs that can be seen beyond the tyres. I'm not going to worry too much about anything that's on the inside of the car, if you see what I mean. And I'll speed this up because my big fat hands kept getting in the way. The paint stripper worked quite well, but I had to do it twice. And now that leaves us with all the paint removed. And the car looking a bit shinier. Now I'm just using a fine sanding pad to just take some of the loose corrosion off and to give the car a little bit of a buff. I'm using 18mm Tamiya masking tape to stop the wheels from getting covered in paint whilst the base plate is being sprayed. At the moment I don't have the means to remove the actual wheels and get them back on again, so for simplicity's sake I'm just going to mask them and paint around them. Okay, so due to a slight filming mistake, I sprayed the body of the car white, but the camera didn't record it, so there you go, we'll have a good laugh about that one. So anyway, so what I've done is I've masked the body of the car to be ready for its red sides, and I've now remasked the base plate, which has been painted black, so I can paint the wheel hubs red to match the sides of the car. And you can see I just basically use a combination of Tamiya masking tape and ordinary household decorating tape to mask the car out. I'm going to use Vallejo acrylic red paint, which I can spray on. This is a colour that I already have. So I'm just making sure that the airbrush is ready to go. And I've put some of the paint in the cup. I'm just making sure that it's flowing. And I'll start to apply it to the wheels. I'll probably put a couple of coats on. And you don't need to use very much paint at all. It's very the paints for these go a very long way. Even though you're only buying a small quantity of paint, it really does last a long time. Now in the factory, the wheels were bare metal, they were painted. If you've noticed, a lot of cars, even though they're painted the same colour on the wheels and the body, the wheels would be a darker colour. Because presumably they just didn't use as much paint on the wheels, I'm assuming. I might also notice I'm doing a really good job of my nails doing this as well, so this might be another business opportunity in the future, is to do nails. Right, so as you can see, I've already done the other wheels on the base plate. I'm only painting the side of the wheel that shows. I only actually put 2 coats of paint on, although this may not be obvious from when I'm reviewing the video. So basically all I'm doing is I'm just painting over the white area of the car, which has already been previously sprayed on. So you see, it's like a low line, I believe, paint job. Look at my nails. I got white paint in it the other day, so now I've got white and red paint on there. Whoops. Pretend that never happened. I actually dropped the car whilst I was spraying it. I'm actually using a Aldi air compressor and paintbrush kit. However, the paintbrush that came with the kit wasn't very good, so I got a couple of eBay versions which worked fine, but they wore out very quickly when you were cleaning them. So I invested a bit more money and got a Hardland Steenbeck Evolution, which works great. It's very easy to clean, so definitely worth the money. Okay, so the paint is now dried, which only took about half an hour, 45 minutes in a warm room. Look at my lovely nails. Now, one of the joys of doing multicolour paint jobs and masking them is when you come to actually peel the paper off and see how good your handiwork is. So it is a bit like Christmas. And this Tamiya tape is very good for it because it doesn't lift paint or it makes a good seal so the paint doesn't get under it. So it does quite a good job. In fact, I would say it actually does a better job than the original factory process, which I think they just used to hold the castings up to a hole in a piece of metal and spray through it. That's how they did their two-tone paint jobs and how they painted the bumpers and fenders, etc. So, not too bad for a first go. So now I'm just using some Vallejo silver paint, which I've dabbed onto a piece of scrap plastic to use as a palette. And I'm just going to, by hand, paint in the chrome details such as the bumpers, radiator, the overriders, the handles, door handles, and the bonnet emblem. I think this took about 35-45 minutes to do, and it was quite good fun because it's detailing the car and it's kind of giving it its character, and also it's a lot of fun and quite absorbing to do, and you'll be relieved to know that I've speeded it up because otherwise it'd be not very exciting to watch. I wasn't sure if the overriders should actually be left the same colour as the bodywork or chromed, but I'm just assuming that chrome is the way to go, being it is an American car of the period, etc. I did actually make a mistake when I was doing this, but what I did was is when the silver had dried, I then went over it with red to hide where I'd gone over the red paint job slightly. Hopefully for the next video I'll have the lighting sorted out so that the tone of everything looks right. But hopefully it's good enough to get across what we're trying to do here. So I'm just painting in the radiator and the I'm not quite sure what the round thing's meant to be. Is it just meant to be an emblem or did it have a function? I don't know. I'm just going to do that headlights shortly. And the bonnet or hood ornament, I'm going to just give a little dab of paint on that as well. So I made a little bit of mistake there, but I actually fixed stuff afterwards. Some people stick their tongues out when they're concentrating on things, but I tend to bite my lip when I'm doing it. Okay, so now just using a silver pen, I've just been painting in the ends of the axles to make them look shiny, because obviously they've been coated in red paint when the wheels were painted. And silver pen's actually just as convenient as doing it using the paintbrush. It's more convenient, should I say. Okay, so these are all the components of the car, so she'll get to it and assemble it. So the first thing we do is put the new tyres on, which are actually very hard. I must admit I did have to use a bit of pressure on them to get them on. I thought it'd be a bit softer. But anyway, they do go on okay. Now watch me struggle putting these ones on. So they're not going to come off in a hurry, those tyres. Quite tight. Okay, now so we're putting the wheels in, and I'll put the base plate on, and then we'll just gently screw it all back together again with the 3 self-tapping screws, which I had intended to paint black. Might get round to that later, but for now we'll go with shiny. Okay, and now time for the obligatory beauty shot on the turntable of the finished car, which is not perfect. I think I could do a lot better, but I think for a first go it's not too bad. I did actually drop it after painting it, so there's a couple of dings in the white paintwork, which it's a bit of unfortunate, but it's a first go, so it's a learning process. So if you liked what you've seen, or think things could be done better, by all means leave a comment. It'd be nice if you subscribed, and we'll do this again. Thank you.